Hey guys, Kia announced a few days ago the official pricing for the EV9 in the United States, and I've been thinking about it and I have some thoughts. So first off, Kia announced that reservations will be opening on October 16th, and they announced the pricing by trim, which I'll go over right now with you. So first up, we have the EV9 Lite rear-wheel drive, which will start at $54,900, and all these prices, they're going to exclude the destination charge of about $1,500. Next up, we have the Lite long-range rear-wheel drive, which starts at $59,200. We have the Wind all-wheel drive, which starts at $63,900. So after the destination charge, you're over $65,000 to get an all-wheel drive EV9. Then we have the EV9 Land all-wheel drive, which is $69,900, and again, after that $1,500, we're looking at over $70,000 there. And the GT line all-wheel drive is $73,900. So after the $1,500 destination, you're over $75,000 for the EV9 GT line. And the reservations are going to be $750. They are refundable, and people who do make reservations will get gifts. So you can get a portable EV charger, 3-year maintenance included, and 1 year of available digital services and features. That would be something like the GT line has the digital grill, for example. That's one example of that. And then the customers are also going to get 1,000 kilowatt hours with Electrify America, similar to how the EV6 was set up as well. Now, I do want to say, overall, I like the EV9 a lot. I looked at them in person at an Electrify Expo event. I got to see the GT line and the Land up close, sit on the inside. I'll post a link to that review video in the description for you guys too. So overall, I like them a lot. They're comfortable. They have a lot of space. They have a lot of features, and I like the looks of them a lot. But what I'm having a problem with is the pricing. I feel like the vehicles are $5,000 to $10,000 more than they really should be. And let me explain. So the entry level EV9 is over $55,000 after the destination charge. People, if you're trying to convince, for example, people to come from gas over to electric, they might be considering the Telluride, because this is essentially considered an electric version of the Telluride by a lot of people. And the Telluride doesn't have as many features. It's definitely not as fast as the EV9. But I mean, you're gonna have those people comparing it, and that's a lot more than a base Telluride. Even the top of the line Telluride is right around $50,000. So you're kind of expecting people to get the base model EV9 with the least amount of range, the lowest amount of power, and spend more than a Telluride. I don't think that's gonna fly that well. I don't think there's gonna be that many people that are cross-shopping the two that are gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna make the plunge and switch to EVs. Now, when you think about EVs in general and other comparable EVs, there's not a lot in this segment, but there are a couple that are pretty notable. So you have the Rivian R1S, which is another 3-row SUV, and it has more capability than the EV9. Software-wise, it's definitely better than the EV9, although Kia is making improvements and does have that new connected car navigation cockpit, I think is what it stands for, CCNC. So they are making improvements there. But Rivian has also made a lot of improvements. They also purchased ABRP, a better route planner, so their route guidance is definitely going to be better, especially when it comes to taking into account EV stops, or EV charging stops. But the Rivian, like I said, has more capability. It's definitely faster, it tows more, and it has more range. And it starts at $78,000. So you're looking at around the same price as a GT line EV9. And it does get a partial tax credit too, because it is under $80,000. It qualifies for the 3750 tax credit. So it's right around the same price. And I feel like people are gonna have a hard time justifying the Kia EV9 over the Rivian. I have to be honest. I think if it were me and I'm comparing the two, the Rivian R1S versus the GT line Kia, I probably would actually go with the Rivian. Even though the Kia does have faster charging, that is one plus for the Kia. The Rivian, I think that's more of a capable vehicle, and like I said, has more range. And if you get up to the higher levels for the Rivian, I mean, another $15,000 over the GT line, and you can get the top of the line Rivian with the fastest motors, biggest battery packs, with a lot more range than the EV9. I just feel like that's going to be a hard sell. And then there's also now Tesla, the Model X, which used to not even be in the picture. The Model X, you can get a 6-passenger one. It's not as big as the GT line, obviously. It doesn't have as much interior space, but it does have a decent amount of space. The third row is definitely not comparable, but it is a third row, so I do want to talk about it. But Tesla has significantly more range than the GT line. It has fast charging, like the EV9, but it also now qualifies for the tax credit. So the base Model X starts under $80,000, so you can get a $7,500 tax credit that you can't get with the GT line right now, or that you can't get with the EV9 right now. Next year, hopefully the EV9 is going to get the tax credit once the facility opens up. I think it's in Georgia or Tennessee, but wherever the plant is in the US, once that opens up, supposedly when production shifts to the US, it'll qualify for the full tax credit. But as of now, the EV9 doesn't, but the Tesla does, and Tesla has vastly superior software, has like I said, better range, faster, and again, I think people who are cross-shopping the two are going to have a hard time choosing the EV9 over a Model X, unless they really need that additional space. Both of them, like the GT line, both of them are 6-passenger SUVs. You do get more space in the third row of the EV9, but I don't know. I'm nervous that this is not going to sell that well in the US, and I know that the EV9 has not been selling that well in its home country of Korea. It's not been doing that great, and I know they've been discounting them a lot there. And in the US now, I know last year with the EV6 there was a lot of demand. Companies, dealerships were charging dealer markup crazy amounts. I know people said they spent $15,000 over MSRP, and I feel really bad for them because prices have tanked and demand is not there like it used to be. A lot of that is driven by Tesla reducing their prices so much, but a lot of it is just demand and the economy and how things are looking. People aren't necessarily wanting to spend that additional money on EVs. So with them rolling out the EV9, I don't think it's a bad vehicle by any means. I think it's an awesome vehicle. I just am worried that the pricing is about $5,000 to $10,000 more than it needs to be really competitive and to bring people over from gas-powered vehicles over to electric vehicles. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I'm curious to know if you guys think that it is priced great or if you think it might be a little high as well. Be sure to subscribe for more videos. I have a lot coming. The Kia EV Day is coming up actually tomorrow, so stay tuned for coverage of that. I know Kia is going to be rolling out some information on upcoming EVs, and I think there's supposed to be at least 2 that are announced tomorrow, which should be interesting. So stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.